No, that makes me feel really sick. Hello, hello, and welcome back to another episode of Horror Movie Reviews. And today, the horror movies that I'm going to be discussing are Halloween, Frankenstein, and The Descent. I usually start with the oldest one, but today I'm going to start with Halloween. Personal preference, I don't find slasher films scary. So parts of this were a bit boring for me because it was like, oh, someone else is getting murdered now. I just don't find them that exciting. But in this one, the music was very good at making it a very tense atmosphere to go along with the murders. So I did enjoy that. I found Michael Myers a bit boring. People are going to hate me for this. I can't put this on the internet. I don't know, he was just a bit lurky. And he's just standing there staring in his William Shatner mask. At points I was like, all right, get on with it. It was a bit repetitive. Like, at the start it was good and it built the suspense, but I was like, can you, like, move along a bit and just do something? But there were quite a few, like, killer point of view shots. So you felt like you were Michael Myers. That was really cool. I really enjoyed those. I feel like I worded that really wrong and now I sound like a psychopath on the internet. There was a lot of nudity for the sake of having nudity. And it just made me feel uncomfortable because there's just boobs everywhere and you don't need it. I'm fine with it if it's relevant, but this was only there for one reason. We don't need to discuss the reason because it's a family-friendly channel, but yeah, it's just... I feel like this was a bit of an anticlimax because it is really hyped up as like one of the most influential slasher films ever made, but like... not many murders happen. I enjoyed it and I understand why people really love it, but this being the first time that I've seen it, it does just feel really overhyped. I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10 because I did enjoy it though. There were just bits that didn't sit right with me and it was just lacking some things for me. I don't know. Next up is Frankenstein. Before watching this, the oldest film that I'd seen was The Wizard of Oz, which came out in 1939, but this one is 1931, so it's overtaken it. The best thing for me, this was a really tiny thing, but I just found it so cool. Basically, in the credits, where you have all the actors, the monster had a question mark. I thought that was so cool. It's like when you go and see something in the theatre and it has a ghost in it, that actor usually isn't credited and it just adds so much more mystery. It was really cool. I've said it before in a lot of these videos, the horror movie ones, the style of acting in older films doesn't really grip me as much. And this one is even older than all of those that I was talking about. This is in the 30s. So it's very like big and overacted, which is fine for something like Wizard of Oz in a musical. But I don't know, this just felt really like pantomime caricature. And also I know the story so well. I've seen so many different versions of it. So I just kind of got a bit bored because I didn't think it was a very good adaptation of it. It might have been at the time. I don't know, watching it now, 90 years later, just, I don't know, didn't have that pizzazz that I needed. Pizzazz isn't the right word, but it's the one I'm going with. And I'm sure it was really exciting and scary at the time, and it had the disclaimer about like it'll shock you, because I'm sure in the cinema people were like, oh my god, this is the scariest thing I've ever seen. But for all those reasons, I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 10 because I did appreciate it for what it was, but it's just not my thing. My dog absolutely loved it though. I'll put in the clip of her watching it.
Were you watching the telly?
She loves TV. I've never seen a dog watch TV more than she does. And finally, The Descent. This one starts with a bang. It's really gory and it's really heavy as well because this woman's husband and daughter die in a car crash. I found throughout the whole thing the acting wasn't that great, apart from in those moments of like terror or grief, the very big emotions, were very good, but the general conversations felt really like scripted. And obviously, it's a film, it's going to be scripted, but it shouldn't feel like that. It just felt really awkward, like there was no connection between the women. After the initial car accident, it is quite slow and it does get quite boring. And that's because the actors just weren't keeping my attention. It could have been really exciting if they were a bit better. Why am I slating these films today? There's a point at like early on that you see a glimpse of one of the creatures in the background. It's like a proper blink and you'll miss it moment, but I thought that was really cool. A bit of like foreshadowing for what's going to happen. And then the first time you see them properly, it really kicks in and gets exciting. And from that moment on, it was genuinely terrifying and really like jumpy and tense. I loved it from the bit where it kicks in, to be honest. But the thing is, throughout it, I felt more and more sorry for the creatures because these women were trespassing in their home. They're only trying to protect their home. And I just felt really bad for them, you know? So yeah, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10 because once it gets going, it is amazing and it is so terrifying. And honestly, if the whole film was like that, it would probably be like a 9, close to a 10, maybe not a 10, I don't know. I feel like I really slated those films. I did enjoy them, they're just not my thing. Apart from The Descent, that was definitely my thing. Coming up in episode 7, I'm going to be talking about The Wicker Man, The Craft, and The Curse of La Llorona. I think I pronounced that right. Thanks for watching. Give it a like if you liked it. Subscribe if you want more of this. But as always, stay safe and look after yourselves. Bye.